How's it going, everyone? Want to talk about something that's going a little bit under the radar. I mean, we just got the lineup of games leaving PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium in the month of May, and I'll go over the entirety of the lineup, but one game in particular really stands out to me, and it might be pointing towards yet another remaster. A remaster that to me kind of makes some sense as far as I could see why they're doing this remaster. I mean, it's very obvious why they're doing remasters. It's a very small undertaking from a financial standpoint. You get to re-release a game, increase the price point, and resell the game to a lot of people, or introduce a new audience to the people, and potentially port that game to PC as well. And after that, I do also want to talk about recent PlayStation Plus title, RoboCop Rogue City. A lot of you guys picked that up. You might not be aware about the fact that it's getting a sizable expansion in unfinished business. We got a brand new story trailer for that. We'll talk that at the end of this video, but I'm not going to break down the entirety of the games leaving PS Plus in May. However, one game that immediately stood out to me: Infamous Second Son. Yes, it is a first-party game that is leaving the service, and whenever a first-party game is leaving the service, that should immediately ring the alarm that something is going on here. Why is this game getting pulled? And I bring that up because Horizon Zero Dawn got pulled from PlayStation Plus Extra, and that's when they did Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Marvel's Spider-Man got pulled from PlayStation Plus Extra, and that's when they decided to release Spider-Man Remastered as a standalone game on the PlayStation Store. Remember, prior to that, it was available only as the Miles Morales Ultimate Edition. Outside of that, they don't really pull first-party games. In this case, they are pulling Infamous Second Son. I would imagine that there is going to be a remaster that is going to be coming, as well as a PC port. And you could make the argument, hey, Days Gone is getting a remaster and that game didn't get pulled. I would say that Days Gone is one of those games that Sony views that title as one that a lot of people are just gonna pay the $10 to upgrade because they already own the game, whereas Infamous Second Son getting re-released, that's a game that's quite a few years old, and I think they view it as a standpoint of, hey, a lot of people probably don't own that game, or hey, maybe people had that game a decade ago and bought it physically, but they've since transitioned to buying all of their games digitally. We can end up reselling this game to people and they will buy it for $50. Whereas Days Gone, maybe they look at that game as one where more people are just going to be looking to upgrade that game for the $10 upgrade. That's my rationale as far as why Days Gone is staying in the service and why Infamous Second Son would be pulled. And mind you, Days Gone doesn't offer you the upgrade path within it being a PlayStation Plus title. If you want the upgrade, you have to own the game digitally, or you have to own a disc-based copy. But I feel like Sony views it as, hey, we can still get value out of having Days Gone, the regular version, in PlayStation Plus Extra. Pulling that game, I don't think would incentivize a lot of people from picking that game up, because I think the people that want that game already own that game, whereas a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, a little bit on the older side, a game like Spider-Man at the time I think made sense. I think Days Gone is one, and you definitely don't want to start the trend where every game getting a remaster, you're just pulling that game immediately. Infamous Second Son, again, it's a decade old, over a decade old, 11 years old. I think a lot of people had that game back in the day and they traded it in, and if you re-release that game, they'd be open to spending $50 on it, where Days Gone doesn't really have that. If Days Gone got pulled from PlayStation Plus Extra, would people be like, oh, I don't have access to Days Gone right now, but I can buy this remastered version for $50? I don't think they would be like that. I think with Infamous Second Son, there's an argument that they'll actually be like that because it is so much older and they'd be willing to pay a premium to revisit that game. That's just how I am making sense of it. Now let's talk about Infamous Second Son getting a remaster. I actually think it makes some sense, again, for the reason that I outlined, where this is a game that a lot of people that are newer PlayStation guys, or they picked up a PlayStation within the last 7 to 8 years, when you look at some of these games, at this point, it is really dating myself, but think about people that were 10 years old when Infamous Second Son came out. They would be 21 now. The games a 10-year-old plays and the games a 21-year-old plays are vastly different, and Infamous Second Son would be a game that I think a 21-year-old would be more open to checking out. It's introducing these games to a new audience, and I think when you're looking at games north of a decade old, I can make sense of why a remaster would be done. For my money, bro, I want Infamous 1 and 2, a collection of those games. Yes, I liked Infamous Second Son, but Infamous 1 and 2 are games that are actually locked away on the PlayStation 3. I don't know what I gotta do. I don't know who I gotta scream at. I don't know what mountains we gotta push to get some of these PlayStation 3 games preserved. Why is Infamous 1 and 2 stuck on the PS3? Why are the Ratchet & Clank Future games stuck on the PlayStation 3? And there's so many more games beyond that, but those are the two franchises that really stick out to me, that it's just like, bro, we gotta get these games on newer platforms. And then there's other things like Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection. Port that to PC. Y'all ported Uncharted 4 to PC, but you're not gonna port the Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection. Some of the decision making with the remasters is just so head scratching to me. And all of the instances with the remaster, I can make sense of it because it's obvious. It's not a significant financial undertaking. You can price these games at $50 and people are gonna be checking it out. And again, this is me coming to a conclusion based on the fact that Second Son is getting pulled from the PlayStation Plus lineup, but why else would you pull it? Again, we've seen this situation before. When first-party games get pulled from PlayStation Plus, it usually leads to something. Horizon, Spider-Man, again, two direct examples of that. Usually, they're not out there pulling a lot of first-party games from PlayStation Plus, and if it's older titles like this, like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna be like, oh, we're pulling Infamous Second Son, maybe we can get some value out of it by selling it for $9.99. I don't think that's the case, and I would argue that if you don't have Infamous Second Son, and you see it on sale for $9.99, pick it up for $9.99 now, because once it gets remastered, we saw it with Horizon Zero Dawn, that price point gets appreciated as well. So the $49.99 pickup is going to be the price that you're gonna have to pay, and then it'll go on sale for like 20% off for $39.99, and it'll take a while for it to get that back down to $9.99. But when you assess all of the remasters in a vacuum, you can make total sense of it. And in a vacuum, I thought even the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster was great. I'm sure people are gonna enjoy Days Gone. It's just contextually when you think about the fact that Infamous 1 and 2 stuck on the PS3. When you think about there's other remasters that people want, that's where it becomes an issue. I think Infamous Second Son would do decently well on PC as well, and Infamous Second Son was one of those games, man. It was one of those early PlayStation 4 games that I do feel like was a little bit rushed out there as well. Remember, if you do remaster Second Son, throw in Second Son, throw in First Light, one bundle, $49.99. I think a lot of people would be all over that, and they would end up picking it up. I just think, man, for my money, I would love to see Infamous 1, 2, and Second Son, a collection. Yo, if you did Infamous 1, 2, Second Son, and First Light in a giant collection for $70, I think people would pay that happily. But if it's just Infamous Second Son and First Light, that dilutes the value to me. It's just, you know, I played Second Son multiple times. I was so close to the Platinum Trophy, and then the game bugged on me, and I didn't get the Platinum Trophy. And funny story, Infamous Second Son's Platinum Trophy bugging out for me is actually the game that made me not obsess over Platinum Trophies. That's what made me kind of put my Platinum Trophy chasing days and fiending over Platinum Trophies behind me. I still go after Platinum Trophies when it's a game I enjoy, but back in the day, you know, late 2000s, early 2010s, your boy was a literal fiend to get those Platinum Trophies, and just the trophy, the dopamine rush of getting trophies was insane, and I actually kind of thank Infamous Second Son for bugging, because it let me put those days behind me a little bit. But yeah, interested to hear what you guys think about Second Son potentially getting a remaster. I know it's not something that everybody is going to be jumping for joy for, but you guys might be surprised that I'm not as down as I normally am with these remasters. I think there is the potential of a newer audience checking it out, and Sucker Punch is putting out a game every 5 years, so it's not like they have a lot of output as far as their new games. You know, they are busy with Ghosts. How do you monetize them even further? You gotta monetize studios where they haven't put out games in 6 years and you're canceling their games, like Ben's Studio. You know, Sucker Punch is putting out a game every 5 years. Naughty Dog's putting out a game every 7 years. You have to monetize these studios somehow in the interim, and this is how they could potentially do that. Although Sucker Punch is literally releasing Yote this year, so who knows when this could potentially come out, but not too surprising whatsoever as far as Second Son getting a remaster and ultimately a PC port. I think like something like God of War 2018, I think that's gonna even get a remaster. I think they'll figure out a remaster on that. Just re-release these games over and over again, because these development cycles have gotten so long, and you gotta get some value out of it. You gotta create this illusion that you have first-party output when you don't have that strong of first-party output, but these remasters do add the illusion of that. I would say that, man, I know the cell architecture isn't that hard. I know it can't be that difficult. Y'all can figure it out. Y'all got the Nathan Drake collection on PlayStation 4. Don't tell me you can't get Infamous 1 and 2. Don't tell me you can't get Ratchet Future on PlayStation 5. Like, just please, by God, we gotta do something to get those games on PlayStation 5. It's like every time I see a remaster, HZD, Days Gone, look, great games, love those games. Infamous Second Son, love the game. But where's my Infamous 1 and 2? Where's my Ratchet? They got God of War 3 on PS4 as well. Not to mind you. So I'm tired of this. Oh my God, the cell architecture. Nobody can defeat the cell architecture. The cell architecture owns us. It owns me and my family. We can't do anything against the demented cell architecture. Like, don't give me that. Please, by God, give me the PlayStation 3 games in collections. Y'all can charge a premium. Resistance 1 and 2. Those would be big releases as well. Killzone, even if they were just campaigns, I think people would still at least be like, okay, at least it's something, because that's how desperate we are. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.